What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Geeks and Company and another episode of the After Show. That's right. My name is JS. This is my buddy Geoff. We are talking about Secret Invasion, and let me tell you a little secret. What a giant waste of fucking time this show was. Like, seriously.
Holy shit.
So, okay. I know we're gonna have a lot to talk about, but man, this finale, the show was never really all that good. The finale made the rest of the show even worse for me. But listen, before we get into this, we are going to talk about spoilers. So, spoiler warning, folks. If you haven't seen the show, go watch the season finale of Secret Invasion. Then come back and watch this. And when you come back, make sure you click that like and subscribe. It really helps us out here. Make sure that our videos get propagated through the YouTube verse. We are a very, very small channel, and it really, really, really helps out. And it costs you nothing. Yes, I know. I'm in the basement. My lighting's poor. I'm not in my regular spot still. I'm going back there soon. Don't worry, guys. Hang with me. I will be back in my regular environment. In the meantime, Aka, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you? Enjoying the vacation with the fam jam in beautiful sunny Quebec over there?
It's been a very busy vacation. So,
I'll bet it has. Yeah.
And not a restful vacation, let's put it that way.
Other than having to watch this show. Having to watch this show has been the biggest trial of mine for the last 6 weeks. I don't know about you, but every week I had to gear myself up to watch this show. I'm like, oh, this will be the show where something actually of consequence happens. And it turns out, this show is just forgive my vernacular, this show is just a giant cock tease for what should have been a good show. And it just wasn't. And I even remember watching
you keep waiting for something
show and then seeing guys on YouTube talking about how this was going to be the show that we've all waited for, a follow-up in look and feel to Winter Soldier with the spy and the espionage and da-da-da. And we got exactly fucking zero of that. And it was just a giant, stupid, dumb thing that the show starts off with him coming to Earth from Saber, and the show ends with him going back to Saber from Earth. And nothing happens in between. Let me spoiler alert, guys. There's no consequence. If this show never happens, Fury's on Saber in space, and he's still on Saber in space. Only this time, apparently, his wife is with him, who will probably not be in the Marvels, by the way, when we next see Fury on Saber in space, as we saw in the trailer. Nothing happened in between of any consequence that's ever going to matter, ever. What's anything? Give me one thing that happened that you were like, oh, okay, that's definitely going to lead to this. So spoiler alert, we called it. We were right. All the guys that were replaced were still alive. They were being kept alive in this nuclear reactor thing, and they were all gotten out. Martin Freeman's character, Everett Ross, we get to see Rhodey in a hospital gown, by the way, so we don't have an idea of how long Rhodey's been there, but we get the sense that he's been there longer than any of them, because obviously it's post-Civil War accident, but it doesn't seem like it's a lot Civil War accident. Anything else? Did anything matter? Was this...
Yeah, nothing that happened had any real lasting consequences. The only thing that happened that may have a consequence somewhere is Maria Hill's death, which I still say we're going to see her pop back up in the MCU at some point. I'm telling you, I do not believe she's actually dead.
Do we care? Because both of the deaths that happened on this show were handled so fucking poorly. Maria Hill and Talos, their deaths were meaning. And by the way, had zero effect on Fury. His right-hand girl and the Skrull he's been dealing with from the jump, since he got all into this mess in the 80s, they die. Talos is burned after he's dead. Zero reaction from Fury. Nothing. Just the next episode, he's just right back on the horse. Oh, I guess I better solve this fucking mystery that's not a fucking mystery. And
That's the
the
biggest
stupid
bummer for me.
CGI fight at the end.
Oh, okay. Let's hold on for that
Holy
conversation
shit.
because that was the dumbest freaking part of this whole show was the stupid CGI fight at the end, which I don't listen.
Oh,
We'll talk about it in a
how
second.
did that make it to air? Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. I the whole finale made no sense. The whole finale was just a shit show of stupidness. Um, I don't even know where to start. Like, for one, we don't actually see Fury in the finale. We only see Fury at the end in the finale. Sorry, he does show up at the hospital. So let me paint a picture for you guys. In the season finale, we believe Fury is going to see Gravik and that he's going to the Russian base and that he's going to confront Gravik and he's going to give him the vial. And all this time, Sonya Farnsworth, the SIS agent, is calling Rhodey, telling him, dude, like she's setting Rhodey up, right? She's calling Rhodey saying, dude, Fury's on his way. You guys need to like get your shit together. Like he's coming for you guys, right? So she starts taking out Rhodey's guys one after the other under the pretext that Fury is coming. So they're all on high alert. Dumbest move ever to actually tell him that Fury's coming to get them all on high alert when Fury's actually fucking coming because he's not with Gravik. He's actually is going to the hospital. So I was like, what the? I didn't understand that whole part. That made no sense to me.
I guess it was supposed to be part of whatever this misdirection that we were hoping was going to be this show from the beginning, but I knew it wasn't Fury at the reactor because it couldn't be Fury at the reactor. He's not just going to die. We already know he's fine in the Marvels trailer. We know he goes back to Saber and just none of this matters. So, I mean, I had picked up on it that it was Gaia pretty much right away. And especially when it was going to be, they were both going to be in the little dome thing for the stupid zap them with every superhero's powers that's ever been on screen before thing that happened. Even some of the villains, by the way, had villain powers as well. Like Thanos' children power. It was, oh, Jesus. So yeah, all that was fine. And then, yeah, so at the end of the day, the president, even though there's guys scattered all over the hospital, the president has 2 guys with him. The president, who's in the hospital after an attempt on his life, has 2 guys with him. Unbelievable. Fury shows up with Sonya, and it's just Skrull Rhodey, who's dead, by the way, now, for no fucking reason, and then one other guy. And then the president had a gun, too. The president was the most threatening. The president, who was on, like, in a hospital bed after almost being killed in a motorcade, was the most threatening person of the entire president's guard, by the way. Can we talk about how shit the Secret Service is for the president, that 2 people with blowguns can just take out the entire detail of the people that are supposed to be guarding the president? What the fuck is this show? It's so dumb. I wish I was dumb enough to enjoy this, but I have like an inkling of smart. It's not a lot, kids. I get it. It's like, but it's enough that it's just, you're just like, I'm just slapping myself. Have you seen the meme with Picard and that's all I'm doing the whole time watching the show. Every decision is either bad or it's like so fucking obvious.
No, I agree.
I'm so mad. Is this the worst? Is this the worst of the Marvel shows? Of the Marvel,
I think so.
Disney Plus shows? Is this the worst one?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
It has to be, right?
The end fight. The end fight.
No.
Let's be honest here. It took a big giant shit
so bad
on a show that was already mediocre and a steamy pile to begin with. Not only was the CG, like, what the fuck was up with that CG? That looked horrible. And then they make a point of telling us, right, in episode like 3 or 4, they show us, oh yeah, he can heal himself now because he's got the extremist powers in his system, so he can heal himself when he gets injured. And then she blows a hole through him and he's dead? So he's not gonna heal this time?
that's the least of the problems with that whole fucking fight. It was just so
It was
bad. Like how like they at that time when they come out of that machine at that time they are arguably the two most powerful beings in the universe at that point, right? They have everyone's powers. Everyone that was in the battle for Earth, they have all of the power. 18 different powers, I think, is what they displayed just during the fight. And by the way, they both have Carol Danvers' power, who's widely considered to be the most powerful of the Avengers, whatever the case may be. You're looking at the two most powerful beings in the universe. They fight for about 46 seconds. And then, she blows him, essentially like blows a hole in him. And he just unceremoniously just dies. And then she just gets squirreled away with Sonya. Guys, I hope you weren't expecting to see any more of Emilia Clarke, because you will never see her character again in the greater MCU, because she's just entirely too... She's like what Superman is to the Justice League. She would make the rest of them so irrelevant so fast, it wouldn't matter. She would just walk into every situation, solve it immediately, and walk out. She's the biggest deus ex machina that's ever been now. This was such a poor decision on everybody's part.
Yeah, and it made no sense to send her in the first place, because think about it, right? You're sending, someone that's being represented as a young adult, right? Almost a kid, right? To fight the Skrulls' general fucking warrior, right? Their war general, right? Their most experienced, skilled fighter, and you're sending some chick that went on a couple of spy missions to kill him, and she beats him in like 40 seconds. Like, this is a guy that's been preparing for this his whole life.
But why does this fight happen? What is, like, the whole point of this show was the Skrulls want a home, so it was going to be all of it. It's called a secret invasion, not a secret CGI 40-second fight. The whole show hinges on this stupid harvest thing that only appears in the 5th of the 6 episodes, and then it's on this fucking fight, and she wins and gets squirreled away, and nothing gets solved or changed. Nothing's different.
Yep.
Except now the president puts out this edict that any non-Earthbound being is now off limits and huntable and everything else. So the only thing that came out of this that might have any type of a wider impact is that aliens are no longer welcome on Earth. I already got the sense that they weren't welcome on Earth anyways, but now it's super unwelcome. Now they're being all right-wing Republican about it now. Like,
yeah, exactly, right? Like, we're going to hunt you down, right? We're going to find you and we're going to kill you, right? So if you're a Skrull and you're on Earth, get the fuck out of here, right? That's basically what he's saying. So that was the real only thing of consequence.
Any alien.
And clearly, there's still going to be Skrulls.
Right? Technically, Captain Marvel's an alien. Technically, half of them, like a bunch of them are alien. Technically, Thor's an alien. Like, they're technically aliens. They're not earthbound beings. He literally says anybody not born here is... That's anybody. It's not just Skrulls. That's anybody. So yeah, it's just so dumb. It's just so fucking dumb. Why is it so fucking dumb, JS?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like, I don't want to go down this path because I have an opinion on why we're having such a hard time getting any kind of quality writing these days. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the reasoning behind why we're hiring certain people to do certain jobs instead of their expertise. And then we're getting shows that are fucking dumb. Right? So I don't know. Listen, I'm disappointed. I was really hoping we were going to have a real spy intrigue, kind of show. Not what we got. There was no spying. There was no intrigue. There was no misdirection. There was none of it at all. Nope, so for me, Secret Invasion was a big waste of time. You could, guys, if you haven't watched Secret Invasion and you're watching this, you can just skip it.
You don't need to.
I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to be relevant out of this that's going to really have an impact on anything we're going to see in the movies. So if you don't
Brody
want to
was a
watch it,
Skrull, and now he's not.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's
That's
it.
all. Everybody
And
else
Talos
is
is dead.
basically where they were when this show started. And Talos is dead. Yeah. And Maria Hill,
Sorry, who?
which JS doesn't believe she's dead anyway. Maria Hill.
No, sorry. So who did you say was dead before that?
I agree with you.
Talos?
Talos is dead, and Maria Hill is dead. Oh my God, I hate you so fucking much right now. Last week you were Talos. This week you're Talos. You're as bad as the fucking writers in this goddamn show. Yeah, what a hunk of shit. By the way, we're hardly alone in this opinion. By the way, we're not outliers. Where this show is reviewing amongst the poorest of all of the Disney Plus MCU shows, and for goddamn good reason. There's a lot of people scratching their head wondering what the point of all this was. They've spoken with the guy that directed every single episode. One person directed every single episode. And this person expressed not what you were expressing, a slightly different take on it, more along the lines of a lot of the times writers on MCU projects are not given the entirety of the story. They're not given where this show's place is in the greater tapestry because of the lockdown and the secrecy through Kevin Feige at Marvel Studios. So sometimes it can be hard to strike a tone or to do certain things. They'll have to they'll write something out and they'll go to, and Feige will be like, you can't do this. And they'll be like, why? He's like, I can't tell you. You just can't do this thing because this thing is going to have an impact a year and a half from now in a completely different thing that I can't tell you about that either. So they do get somewhat handcuffed. I just don't think there's been a show that exemplified that as much as this show has, where it's clear they only had so much to work with. But even then, what they had to work with, they still did a terrible job with what they had in the first place, with the materials that they used. But they were still, I get the sense they were really restricted on what this just felt exactly what we thought. This literally felt like a hype movie for the Marvels. Like, this is like, you saw Captain Marvel, but it's been a bit since you've watched that. And even though that made over $1 billion, it was also a bit of a divisive film. Here's our 6 episode, 3-hour hype movie for the next movie. Fuck you, Disney. Cause I didn't need that. Nobody needed it. It's dumb.
Not only did nobody need it, but yeah, it was, like you said, it was just dumb, right? Like, it made no sense. It was a waste of our time. Listen, I think we're going to cut it off here. We've been blabbering on for almost 20 minutes. And frankly, guys, we love doing these after shows, but I'm glad this one's over. Because
don't watch the show, guys. Don't watch the show. Please. Please.
What a waste of our time.
Don't watch the show.
Yeah. Not that I want anybody to boycott anything. If you want to watch it, go watch it.
No.
But
we're not.
If you were having doubts whether you needed to go see it or not, don't. It's not.
You don't. You super don't have to. Yeah.
I think that's going to be it, folks. Listen, if you enjoyed Secret Invasion, let us know below. Right? Maybe you loved the show and you loved how it played out, and if that's the case.
Please
I know our buddy Groot in London thought it was a great show. So, guys, if you liked it, let us know why below. Otherwise, make sure you click that like button and make sure you don't miss our Strange New Worlds after shows, because those are going to keep going on for a couple weeks. We've got 3 more after shows coming up after this. So make sure you keep an eye out for those. I think that's going to be it for this show. Make sure you stay geeky, everybody. And we're not going to see you again for this after show, but we'll see you on our podcast every weeknights. Sorry, not every weeknights. Every Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, live right here on YouTube. See you guys then.